Hello there and good afternoon, you wonderful bunch of people. It's Ryan from SQ2 tuning in live from the back of my van. If you follow my stuff on Instagram or TikTok or any other social media platforms, this is going to be completely new to you. You've never seen me do this, but there is a first time for everything, and I am sitting here for good reason. For those of you guys who do not know who I am, this is probably going to be my first YouTube video that you see. My name's Ryan, I'm 28 years old and I'm a building contractor from London and Kent. Those are the two main areas that I work. Yeah, so what can I tell you about myself that those of you who don't follow me don't know? I come from a family of trade. My granddad was a tradesman, my dad was a tradesman. Both of my brothers are now tradesmen. They're 10 years older than me and they both have their own construction companies, and that's actually how I got involved in the building game, was when I started working for them at the age of 17. So I decided to leave school. I was doing sixth form, so I was in year 12 on my first year, and things wasn't working out for me that well, and it wasn't really where I wanted to be, so I decided that I wanted to switch things up and start learning how to build things and to earn some money. That was what it was for me. I guess I didn't have the patience to wait it out and study for that little bit longer, and I decided to start working on the building site. So I've done that for a year, from the age of 17 to 18, and then as I was getting closer to 19, I decided that maybe it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I got in contact with my secondary school, who kindly let me leave in the first place, and requested whether it would be possible if I could go back there and finish my A-levels and finish year 13. And that was exactly what I did. So I went back to the school, I finished off my A-levels and come out with some good grades, and went off to university. So I went off to university, made some great friends, learned some new things, completely irrelevant to this. And then after my second year, well, during my second year, I kind of decided that also wasn't for me at the time, and so it was a very jumbled few years for me. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but eventually I found my feet, and I found construction and building, and it's been my passion since I ever made that move. So I came back, got in contact with my brother Neil, who owns Chelsfield Design and Build, and politely asked Neil whether it would be possible if I could start working for him, and I started as a labourer. And so I'd already had a year's experience of labouring, and I've always liked to work hard on site, and I think that that's probably why I'm in the position that I'm in right now, is purely through hard work and determination to succeed. And I'm hiring people at the moment, and I've got a couple of guys on my team, and I tell them the same thing. Sometimes when they get a little bit down about labouring and wanting to do more sort of hands-on stuff within learning tools, whether it's laying bricks, whether it's looking at blueprints, I tell them the same thing, that being a good labourer, in my opinion, is the absolute foundation of becoming a good tradesman. And I've got many years of labouring under my belt, so stay with it, guys. It will pay off in the long run, I promise. I laboured for about 4 years. I travelled to Australia, and I was labouring on some bricklayers there for about a year or so. That's where I learned how to bricklay, actually, through those guys allowed me, once I'd done with all my labouring jobs, they allowed me to jump on the trail for a little bit and just start running in beds of muck. So they would be just following me with bricks, I'd be laying the muck, and that was how I learned to bricklay. With plastering, my brother one day was about to plaster a wall, and I'd knocked up a bucket of multi for him, and he said that he had to take an important call, and he said, don't worry about it, we'll throw that bucket and we'll start again. So he took the call, he left for about 10 minutes or so, and dealt with the call. But whilst he was away, I started plastering the wall, and by this point I felt quite confident in myself to do this, because it had been about 3 or 4 years just using these, and that's what it takes. It's not something you can learn overnight, and I'm a firm believer of college, and apologies, there's a car driving past at the moment. I'm a firm believer of college and getting your MVQs in bricklaying or whatever it is, electrics and plumbing, but I'm also a firm believer in going to work every day 8 till 5 and using your hands, watching people who know what they're doing, and learning that way, and that was how it was for me. So yeah, I slowly started picking up things, started building stud walls, started plasterboarding, started plastering, started bricklaying, started using my levels and learning how tools work with lasers and all those kind of intricate, interesting things. Was just something that fascinated me. I sometimes even used to go home and watch videos on how things were done and try and put them into practice the next day. So if you're looking to do those kind of things, guys, and you want to step up, you want to get away from labouring, I would advise that you become an exceptional labourer first before you even consider becoming a good tradesman, because without those fundamentals, in my opinion, you will not achieve. So yeah, don't disregard the hard work if you can. But yeah, so that's about it really. I'm now 28 years old. I've been working for people on and off for the past sort of 7 or 8 years. And about a year or so ago, I decided that I was going to go off on my own journey. And I started investing in tools. These exact tools that you can see in front of you are just a small portion of the tools that I have. The rest of them are in my garage, like mixers and all those fun sort of dirty tools. And I decided that the money that I was getting paid with my brother or guys that I worked for in Australia, or I even went to Asia and worked over there for a little bit, and it wasn't enough for me, and I knew what was in front of me, so I decided to make the jump, and it's been working out pretty well for me ever since. So I'm happy that I made it, and it's put me where I am now. I'm just starting my own extensions. I've finished 2 now. I have a new build on the horizon. I've got a refurbishment on the horizon, and multiple other jobs in different surrounding areas. And I guess what it is for me now is not so much what I can do on the tools, but it's what I can do in the regard of business management, people management, and making sure that things run smoothly. But that's what my focus is on now. But yeah, so now you know my brief life story. There is obviously other things going on in my life, but we haven't got the time for that at the moment during this video. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing here, and what I'm doing here is I'm just going to quickly review a few of my favourite tools. I mean, they're all my favourite. I love every single one of them. They all serve their own great purpose. But we're going to go for a few, like the brushless 18-volt impact driver. I'll probably discuss some, review this in a little bit more detail. I would like to talk about the IM360 Pazload. It's new from Pazload, and I've been using it for about 6 months now. It's got the cool little eject button, which I love. Makes things so much easier than it did before. Oh, not when you drop it on the floor. We've got, what else have we got? We've got cordless multi-tools, we've got hammer drills, we've got laser levels, we've got Milwaukee circular saws and handheld reciprocators. And I would like to actually talk a little bit more about hand tools as well, because I feel like that's something that gets dismissed sometimes, because obviously they're not as expensive, they don't do as many things, but people forget that hand tools were the ones that were first around, and they've been crafted on for the longest. And I love my hand tools, I really do, especially things like this Stanley knife here, purely because of how easy it is to use and its durability on a building site, because we all drop things. But that's just a little example of what I would like to get into.